Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to use the new privacy report as well as the required reason API for iOS in Expo React Native application. So let's get started. So first, as usual, we'll have to create a React Native application, and for that this is just a cheat sheet, so don't get confused. So you can just go to this particular URL. I'll just close this. You can use whatever template you feel comfortable. I will just use this blank TypeScript template. You don't have to use the blank TypeScript template because we won't be writing any such code. It's more about configuration. So I can just go to my workspace directory and just paste this particular command. I'll just give it some app name as well, my app. Let's just wait for this to finish. Now for this, so I'll just open this app inside VS Code. Now for this, to configure the privacy report as well as the required reason API, we require the native iOS module, right? So by default, Expo project does not come with native iOS module. So to configure native iOS module, you will have to go to this particular URL over here. So I'll just open this particular URL, and here you will have to select iOS device. Here you will have to select development build, and I have disabled ES because we will be building it locally, so I don't need ES. I have already installed Xcode as well as Xcode command line tools, so you don't have so you will have to install it if you haven't installed it already. Once that is done, I'll just scroll down. I have already installed Brew, Homebrew as well as Watchman. Then we just have to run this particular command as well. So what I'll do, I'll just cd to my app. I'll clear everything out, and I'll just paste this particular command, npx expo install expo dev command. So again, this will just install some other dependencies as well. We don't have to worry too much about it. Let it do its thing. Now this is the actual command which will install the CocoaPod dependency for us. So let's just come over here. Once that is done, we can just paste this command. Now this will take little bit of time to run, so be patient because it will install all the dependencies for us, but it will create the iOS project for us. So if you see, it has created the iOS folder, but it is installing all the dependencies. So let it do its thing. Once this is done, I'll come back. Alright, so as you can see, CocoaPod installation was done successfully for me. Now it is asking me to run my application. I don't want to run it. It doesn't make any sense to run it now. Because we are not making any code changes. It is just configuration changes which we have to do before deploying your app to Apple App Store. So I will just do Control C. Next thing what I will do is, I'll just come over to my app. I'll go to iOS. I'll just open this .exe workspace. Double click on it. It will automatically open it inside Xcode for us. Now so yeah, this stuff is done. Now I will explain you first the required reason API. So for that, you will have to go to this particular documentation over here. So you can just open this documentation and scroll down, and you can just click over here, NS Privacy Access API type. Now firstly, you will have to read this documentation. There are no two ways about it. I will just give you one example. You might have heard about the user defaults API. It is basically used for storing key value data. Most of you will not use it. Most of you will use async storage. I'm not sure what async storage uses behind the scenes, but anyways, so suppose if you have written some native Swift code and you are using the user defaults. I'm just taking an example. So suppose I'll just search for user defaults. So here is the user defaults API. So first, once you open our project, go to your app, go to my app, and here you can see it already has this privacy info, because there are some APIs which Expo internally uses. So for that, they have to create this privacy info. Now whatever I am showing you right now, this user default, these are first party APIs from Apple. These are not third party APIs from some other developer. So even if you are using first party APIs, we have to add this. So you can see that this is already added for me, this privacy info file. If it is not present for you, to create that, just right click, new file from template. Typically you won't have to do this if you are using the latest Expo version, created an app using Expo version. But if not, just click on app privacy, click on next, make sure this checkbox is checked for targets, and just click on create. I won't create it because it is already created for me. Now here you can see it has created this privacy access API types for me. I'll just expand this, and here you can see they have given that if I expand this item 0, here you can see they have already added this user default. So behind the scene Expo is using user defaults already, so I can't show you the user defaults. I'll show you something else. Here you can see and the reason why they are using user defaults. Let's see some more. Item 1 they are using this file timestamp as well. Item 2 they are using disk space as well, and item 3 they are using this system boot time. So not to worry, we'll check some other APIs. So suppose this is the API which I'm using in my application, this NS privacy access API category active keyboards, to check whether any keyboard is active for any reason or not. So suppose if I'm using this API, first what I will have to do is uh, just click on this. I'll just minimize this. Click on this privacy access API type, click on this plus button over here. It has added this item 0 which is empty. Click on this plus button on item 0 again, select privacy access API type, again click on item 0, click on plus button of item 0, click on privacy access API reasons. Now inside privacy access API types, you will have to add this particular thing. So you can't directly randomly add any whatever comes to your mind. You can't do that. You'll have to copy this. If you are using this active input modes of keyboard, just copy this particular thing and paste it inside privacy access API type over here. Paste it, and here you can see once I click on enter, it automatically converts it to active keyboards. Now we have to specify reason why we are using it. So I'll just expand this again, go to item 0. Now again you can't just add random reason. You have to go through the documentation. So suppose I'm using the active input mode for this particular reason. Okay, so this satisfies why I'm using it. So I will have to copy this particular number and I'll have to paste it over here. And if I click on enter, here you can see it automatically convert to a valid reason. Then again I'll click on privacy access API reason. I'll click on this plus button over here. Suppose I want to add one more reason. So again this is the other reason which I can use. So I can just copy this and I can paste it over here, and it automatically converts to customize UI on device. So hopefully you got the point. I will tell you one more. So suppose I'm also using this particular thing. What is this? So disk space, I think it is already there. So maybe this system boot is also already there. File timestamp is also already there. What else? I think we have run out of all the things which we can configure, but hopefully you got the point. So suppose I'm just giving you an example. Suppose this user defaults was not present by default. Okay, so where is the user default one? So this is the user default one. Okay, I'll just delete it. You don't delete it. Make sure you keep it. I'm just showing it to you one more time how to add if something is not present. So you can just do minus. Click on this minus. Okay, so it has deleted it for me. Now I need to add the user defaults one, right? So I can just minimize all this, go to privacy access API type, click on this plus button inside item 0. Make sure the drop down is pointing towards the bottom. Click on the plus button of item 0, select privacy access API type, again click on item 0, click on the plus button, privacy access API reason as well. In privacy access API type, again I will have to write this particular thing, copy it and paste it over here. Okay, and it automatically converted to user defaults. Then over here I will have to give some reasons why I'm using it. So for that, suppose if this reason fits fine for my application, I can just copy paste it over here and it will automatically convert to user defaults. Also I will click, suppose I want to give one more reason, I'll click on this plus button and then again I'll just copy this particular thing. Maybe this works. If again you will have to read the docs, no two ways about it. Paste it over here. Okay, so this is done. Now coming back to third-party APIs. So I'll open this docs. Apple has provided this document will get updated, so be careful with this. Both this, all the documents which I'm showing currently, they have only asking for this particular APIs, but in the future they might ask even for more APIs, might add more APIs which are first party APIs. Now for third party APIs which are made by some other developers apart from Apple, so these are all the third party APIs. So if you are using any one of them, firstly suppose make sure, my suggestion would be to use the latest version of any of these third party APIs, because most of these third party APIs already have configured the privacy report as well as the required reason API in their own code, so you don't have to do anything extra special. But suppose if suppose this Firebase API, okay, this has not been updated for past 2 years. It has been updated, I'm just giving you an example. Suppose this Firebase is not updated for past 2 years, then and it also does not include the privacy or required reason API, then you will have to fork it. You will have to add it the privacy API or required reason API or privacy report to it, and then use it. So which would be a lot of work. I would suggest don't do that. It's better to use up to date third party dependencies, or maybe raise an issue in their GitHub repo, adding telling them to add the privacy reason required reason API. Typically I would not use any third party dependency which does not have this, so be careful with it. It would be another headache for you. So yeah, just use updated dependencies. That's my suggestion to you. Next is nutrition label. Now I will try to explain as much as I can. So here you can see inside Expo they have already added this nutrition label type as well. But if it is not present for you, you can add it as well. You can just click on app privacy configuration, click on plus button, just select this nutrition label type. I will just remove this, okay, because I've added it extra. So make sure you have this nutrition label type as well. Now when to use this? Now this is not an Apple documentation, I just found it online. So from what I have understood, you have to use this whenever you are asking the user for contact info, health and fitness, financial info, location, sensitive info, contacts, user content, browsing history, search history, identifiers, purchases, usage data, diagnostic and other data. So suppose if I'm asking the user for health and fitness data, okay, so firstly what I will have to do is I'll have to go to this particular URL, copy it, I'll paste it over here. Okay, here suppose we are asking, now again you'll have to read the docs, no two ways about it. But suppose if we are asking for health and fitness, okay, so then we'll have to use this particular thing. So just copy it, okay, and inside a privacy nutrition label type, you just have to click on this, make sure the drop down is down, click on this plus button. It will add this item 0. It will have this collected data type, and inside collected data type just paste this particular thing. It will automatically convert to health. Now link to a user, it depends on your app. Maybe yes for most of the things I would say. Used for tracking, again it depends on your app. I'll again make it as yes. And what is the collection purpose? Now for collection purpose you have to go to a different URL. You can come over here, something like this, and here you can see why are you using it. So up again you can't just write random strings over there. You will have to use this particular thing. Again you will have to read the documentation for it. But suppose I'm using it for third party advertising, I can just copy this and I can paste it over here, and it will automatically convert to third party advertising. If I want to add more collection purpose, I can just click on this plus button and I can copy this, and again read the docs. I'm just randomly copying this, and here you can see it is used for developers, advertising or marketing as well. Now again if you are suppose I want to add more things to this privacy nutrition label type, again go to it, click on the plus button. Sometimes it gives the wrong data. Click on this plus. Here you can see now it has again added item 0. Now again you will have to come over here. So suppose I'm collecting the user first name and last name, so I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here, click enter. I'll make this as link to user as yes, okay, and collection purpose, again same thing. You will have to come over here. Suppose I'm using it for this purpose, analytics using data to evaluate user behavior, then I will have to add it over here, paste it. If I want to add one more, I'll click on this plus button, sorry, this plus, okay, and I can just copy this particular thing, paste it over here. Okay, so yeah, something like this. And now if you want to see your report, you can just make sure you have signed in with your Apple sign in account. Just go to product. Okay, I will have to see, I'm not connected my real device, so I can just select an ARM device. You make sure you don't select your simulator, just go to product, archive, and hopefully this should be pretty quick. Okay, build failed. Why did it fail? Okay, I have not signed in with my account. I'll just sign it quickly. Okay, I'll just go to product, archive again. Hopefully this time it works. Now this might take a little bit of time. You can fast forward it. I'm not editing this out because I'm bad at editing. Now the report which will be generated from this archive, the report which we will be downloading, it's for our own purpose. Like you don't really need the privacy info file which is there inside our project. It will automatically give the report to Apple, so you don't have to worry about this. It's just to see whether whatever report has been created, it's proper or not, if we have missed any APIs or not. So it's all about that. Okay, so here is the archive. You just have to right click, generate privacy report, and just save it wherever you feel like is correct for you. And then you can view it. Yeah, you can see something like this. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.